As Aboriginal people, we've always talked about, the people up on those brass statues, what do they represent? And we've seen some of these to represent filth and anger and hate towards our people. And I feel sometimes I've felt in my life when I went to Grandmother Smith's grave and knew that she wasn't in the grave, that feeling of not being able to keep your own people, your own ancestors where they're supposed to be, because other people think that they're more important to them than what they are to us. And to think what this man must have gone through in his time when he was at Oyster Cove with Truganini and Fanny Cochrane and worried about what was going to happen to them when they died. They knew that they was going to be robbed, their bones was going to be robbed.
What were these men wanting these Aboriginal remains for? It was toward the project called phrenology, in which science at the time believed that evolution happened in a regional manner, and that Homo sapiens, humans, evolved in different ways in different places around the planet. And they all believed that the indigenous Tasmanians were at the bottom of that pile.
In a conversation with the City of Hobart about the statue, because they knew they had to do something and they were looking for ideas. Why don't we create a program where we invite artists, Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal artists and creative practitioners to do an intervention, to say something in the public space where the statue is.
The project began with an idea I had of using 19th century news advertising process, which meant people creating bills that would be put up on bill posts or Morris posts around the cities of Europe, to create a pillar or a post for William Lanney in a kind of modern news magazines to speak way to tell what happened to him.
We've got a way to go, but I think it's having things like this that starts that very small thing in our minds to think about where we're going as a country and how we're maturing as a country.
So the idea of using big wooden block prints that we use in the pillar as a kind of basis for telling a more modern broadsheet shout line, that's what it comes from. Lanney tells all in the sun, mixed with the tradition of large block prints onto posters. I hope that we can remove the life of William Lanney from under what some of us know about him, from under that story of his death and his mutilation by William Crowther.
Roger Scholes, who I collaborated with on the Lanney Pillar, has I think made this point really well, that William Lanney has tended to be overshadowed by the story of Crowther. And there's a real injustice in that. The bigger injustice, and the one that continues today, is that his story becomes subservient to these historical figures. So his very identity, his place in history, is colonised.
His story at least allows us to connect to a person who went through a whole series of experiences and yet survived and prevailed and was an honoured human being.
Having the pillar in the Allport also allows us to open up opportunities of translating that bit of art, that bit of creative practice of filmmaking and sculpture into an educational resource.
I hope you will feel that Libraries Tasmania, we are truly committed to reconciliation. This Allport exhibition is one example of that, but I know that through the staff in the State Library, the archives, in our public library network, we're very committed to raising the truth to the surface.